Hello and welcome everybody who watches our programs on a weekly basis as our good viewers in the English language. We just did a very good program in Persian, and now we are going to do the same program for you, the English speakers. I'm just going to, as usual, send the link into my Telegram page for everybody who's there so that they can catch it and join us. And also I will be able to use it from there to also go in with my phone and be able to enter YouTube just like all of you and see if there's anything wrong. And if there is, I can fix it right away so that way we don't have any kind of problems for you, the viewers. Everything will run smoothly. All right, so today we're going to do a little bit of recap. I know all of you in the English language, you've probably seen a lot of the news, and I'm hoping that you are all good and experts now, and you know that you're not going to be watching Democratic fake news, and you're only going to be watching good news, more reliable news. And if you have, I'm pretty sure that you've noticed that the name Iran is in the media a lot. You know, every time the media, even the better professional ones like the Republican type of news, even they like to play with words. You can't trust all of them 100%. Every time you hear the word Iran, remember that this is the government that they're talking about, and the government is Islamic Republic of Iran. When we say Iran, people will think we're talking about all Iranians as a whole. But that's not the case. When they're talking about Iran as the supplier and the funder and the backer of the terrorists, that has terrorists working for them that are attacking the United States and Israel, we're talking about the Islamic Republic of Iran, the government, those in the government. And those people, they belong to 350 families who've all intermarried with each other and are blood related with each other, have tons of kids, and they're all in positions of power throughout Iran. We're not talking about the regular people. And these 350 families, all of them are of Arab origin, Indian origin, but none of them are officially, truly Iranian by blood. These are all people who are second and third generation. Some of them are first generation still. And they've come in and they've taken over, hijacked the country, committed genocide for over 44 years on the Iranian people themselves, and have had a hatred for the same amount of time with the people of Israel. The Israeli people and the Iranian people are also tied to each other religiously from well over 2,500 years ago, when the Iranians came and freed the Jewish people, and Jews lived with the Iranians, grew up with the Iranians, and have been old allies of each other. So when you hear the name Iran in the news, remember they're talking about the Islamic Republic of Iran. Now, the Islamic Republic of Iran spends a lot of money. I showed this one of the other days, maybe 3 weeks ago or so. I showed you how Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, spends a lot of money for its agents in the West, outside of Iran, the different places. Here in Houston, we have the Islamic Education Center in Houston. In Dearborn, Michigan, they have the Hadi Institute. And today we're going to look at how in this Hadi Institute in Dearborn, Michigan, are they radicalizing, promoting the people that go there to become terrorists and attack American citizens. We're going to go over that in this program. And then I'm going to tell you what you should do, what your responsibility should be if you're an American citizen on how to stop these people. And if you're not an American citizen, but you understand English well enough to understand this program, they are in your country too. I don't care what the name of your country is. They're in there too. And the same thing they're doing here, they are trying to do in your country as well. So the same steps that I'm going to tell for the American viewers, you can use in your country. Just replace the name of whichever officials I use here in the United States with the ones in your country. For example, if I say FBI and you're living in Canada, you can change that with the Canadian Mounted Police. If you're in a different country, use the equivalent, MI5, and so on. Scotland Yard, and so on. So just replace that word with whatever is in your country so that you can learn what to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a video. It's in English. We'll stop it part by part, and we will answer this mullah, this clergyman named Usama Abdulghani. But this is not his real name, because clergymen in Shia Islam always use fake names. All of them. Khomeini's name is supposed to be from the city of Khomein, but he's from India. So he's not from Khomeini. Sistani says he's from Sistan, but he's not from Sistan. Gulpaigani says he's from Gulpaigan, but he's not from Gulpaigan. Another one calls himself Shirazi, but he's not from Shiraz. Okay, all of them, they pick names of landmark places and they put that on themselves or do something of the nature, but then that's not who they are. So let's go into screen sharing. Let me see if I can first, before I go into screen sharing, let me bring up that and then I can go into screen sharing. All right, here we go, everybody.
We say that we will defend the oppressed wherever they are, the oppressed wherever they are. It doesn't mean.
Okay, so he says we are going to defend the beliefs of the oppressed. However, here he says those who believes in gay rights, okay, that's not who he's talking about. Because in Islam, I have to give you a background. In Islam, they say you're supposed to stand up in Shia Islam. Hussein, the grandson of the supposed grandson of the Prophet of Islam, he has a hadith, a tradition where he says you have to stand up for those who are in the right. You have to defend them. If they're too weak to defend themselves, you have to stand up. So now he's talking about that. Okay, he says, when that's said, it doesn't mean we defend those who believe in gay rights. Okay, so if you are gay, he's not going to stand up for you. That's what he means.
We will defend those who will believe in Qomluk rights.
Qomluk rights. Qom means the tribe of Lut. You know Lot in English? So he's saying the tribe of Lot, we're not defending his rights, you know, those people who want to be gay, LGBTQ. You know, today you see a lot of them protesting for free Palestine, free Palestine. He says we're not standing up for those guys. Those guys are not the ones that we stand up for. So those guys are standing up for the group that want to kill him. Okay, continue.
You're not going to have a rainbow hijab. No.
You know, we're not having a rainbow hijab. You're not going to be a lesbian around here. No gay rights, okay? For YouTube's fact checkers, I'm not saying this. He's saying this, okay? Okay.
Not loop rights. Right? Those aren't rights. We're very close to
the mountain top, the top of the mountain, the top of the mountain. Before we continue with the top of the mountain, I would like to say to this hojjatul Islam Usama Abdulghani, hey, Abdulghani, all of the clergymen, all the ulama, all the mullahs, all the ayatollahs, all the ayatollah al-uzamas, and all your maraj today in Iran and Iraq, all of them are gay. They're all sleeping with each other's brother-in-laws and whatnot. Today, they're all sleeping together. They're all gay today, bisexuals. They have their so-called nikah marriage, their nikah contract, which is a F-U-C-K-I-N-G contract, because it's not a izdawaj, it's a nikah. So today they have their nikah contracts with their so-called wives, and then they're also sticking it to their wife's brother. And their video is all over the internet. Go to X, known as Twitter. You'll find them all over the place. Pornhub can become a $1 billion company just off of the ulama, the clergymen, the mullahs of Islamic Republic of Iran. You know them very well. You went to Qom, to the Hawza Ilmiya in Qom, to the theological school in the city of Qom in Iran. I'm pretty sure that they bent you over as well, like they do each other. They stick it to you as well. Because every single one of you go in there, you come out the same. And what are you going to do with all your friends in Iran? Now he's talking about, we're very close to the top of the mountain. The top of the mountain. Okay. Let's see what the mountain is.
The top of the mountain. Liberating the world from all of the tawaghi.
He wants to liberate the world from all the tyrants. In other words, Muslim, Zalim, is tyrant. He calls him Mawaqit. He doesn't know how to even translate the words. What was he doing in the Hawza Ilmiya of Qom? I have no clue. Other than sticking it to each other, finding each other's holes. That's all they do over there. All of them are gay. 100% of them are gay. There is not, you think I'm joking. Go to my Telegram. Not only will you see them with each other, these mullahs, these clergymen, they become the bottom for dogs. They're into bestiality. The dog sticks it to them. Go and see.
The return of your master, Imam Mahdi.
The Mahdi is coming. You know, the Mahdi came and died so many times. The Mahdi came in Africa 3 times and died. The Mahdi came in Pakistan and died. The Mahdi came in some Arabian countries and died. The Mahdi now, he's talking about Mahdi is going to come. He knows when the Mahdi is coming. You know, no Muslim on the planet, all the Muslims, Shia, Sunni, everybody believes in the Mahdi. And they expect the Mahdi to come near the end of time. When Jesus appears, Mahdi is going to come and the two of them are going to kill the Antichrist and all that stuff. But he knows when the Mahdi is coming. Nobody else knows, but he knows. He knows when Mahdi is coming.
We're very close to that.
We're very close to that. Pay good attention to his gestures. You know, when the mullahs want to fool you, they know they can't do it just by their words. So pay good attention. He has to do this and go back. He has to do this. Watch me. You'll see.
But one big test for all of us is the test of Palestine.
But before the Mahdi comes, one big test for all of us is the test of Palestine.
What will you do if Occupy Palestine exists during your time?
What will you do if Occupy Palestine exists in your time? Well, let me answer you from the Islamic religion, because you are a Muslim clergyman. You are a Shia Muslim clergyman. You are supposedly a man of knowledge in Islam. So let me give you some information from Islam itself. I will quote you from the greatest Zionist of all time, Allah, the God of Islam, who said in his own book the words that came out of Allah's mouth, and the pen wrote in the book called the Quran. The land belongs to the Jew. The Jew is to have this land till the end of time. The land is the land of Israel. That's what we got to do. We got to give it to the Jew.
The leader says.
The leader says. Anytime you hear this, it's a code. Leader means Rahba. Who is the Rahba? Khamenei. Anybody who comes and uses the word Rahbar, or in English, leader, do not fall for them. They are following the same Shia Islamic ideology. Her name can be Masih Ali Nejad, Maryam Rajafi, or this idiot over here, Osama, or the rest. They all want to use leader, the leader. Okay, his leader is Khomeini and Khamenei, the two founders of Islamic Republic of Iran. You know, because they pay him. He's on the payroll. Okay, what does Khamenei say? The leader says that it is the most important issue of Islam today. The most important. Your prayers are not important. Your fasting is not important. You beat your wife is not important. You have sex with your children is not important. If you drink, it's not important. Go to the mosque or not, it's not important. Whatever you want to do, not important. The only thing that is most important, ahead of the line, everything takes a back seat to it. Palestine.
Is the most important issue of Islam today. Because we have our foot.
Because we have our foot on Israel's throat. But Israel isn't dead yet. Huh? Is he teaching you aggression yet? Are you learning how to become aggressive? Radicalized? You got your foot on Israel's neck. Israel's on the ground and you're stepping on its throat with your foot. You know, you got him at the throat. And Israel is going, but he's not dead yet. He's not dead yet. Hear it from the horse's mouth.
On Israel's throat, but Israel isn't dead yet.
Dead
Why
yet.
is it that Palestine is going to win this?
No, he's going to count. Ladies and gentlemen, look at his hand. Look at his hand. This guy who most likely, if you did a DNA test on this guy, you would find humans, gorillas, chimpanzees, monkeys, alligator, some types of pig, some types of bear, some type of wolf, some type of cat animals too. If you took all of them and mixed them together, you get this one guy. He's made out of everything. He's got DNA of everything. Okay, I'd be willing to pay for the DNA test. I'm sure we go to 23andMe or whatever you want to use. This guy's DNA will come back with all these animals included with human beings. Anyway, why is it that Palestine is going to win this time? Mind you, remember, he said this speech October 20th, 8 days ago, okay? He said this speech 8 days ago, okay? Now he's going to count. You see, he's got his finger up. He's going to start counting. Let's see how good of a counter he is.
Time. One part of it,
One part of it, you know, you see the finger, the one part, you see the finger? Okay. One part of it is the Muslims are going to push back. They're not going to be pushed around no more. They're going to push back. That's why you find them on Fox and all over Twitter, where the university students surrounded a bunch of Jewish kids in a library, banging on the doors, let us in, let us in. Yeah, we're going to push back. We're going to become radicalized. They're going to bring the terror to you. Okay.
Who's going to push back? You're going to do your job.
You're going to do your job. You know, you point it to the people. You're going to do your job. You. Yeah, the one that sits there underneath them. You got to get up there tomorrow. Forget about going to the workplace and being a civilized human being. No, tomorrow you go there and you do your job. Ransack the place. Start yelling. Throw stuff around. Find a Jew and beat him up. By the way, that was one part of it. We should be going to second part, but now he forgot how to count. What you expect from a Muslim? He forgot how to count. We're back down to one again. Okay, one part of it. Now we're back down to one part. Instead of two part, we're back down to one part. One part of it is the soldiers of the devil. Devil is normally not Satan. They're below Satan. Okay, but he didn't mean the devils. He meant Satan because he doesn't know what is what. He can't translate the Arabic words because he didn't study it. He has no knowledge of what he talks about. But he's on the finance committee. You know, he gets paid. He gets paid to do the dirty work for Islamic Republic of Iran. That's their agent. You who live in Dearborn, Michigan, this is the agent of Islamic Republic of Iran. It's your duty to report him to the FBI. Okay, NSA, and the rest. Anyway, we're back to one part instead of two parts. They're from the devil. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
One part of it are the Junud of Iblis. Those Zionist soldiers who are trying to go into Gaza.
Iblis is another word for Satan. So those are the army, the soldiers of Satan. Who? Those Zionist soldiers who are trying to do or to go into Gaza. Okay?
Those guys, those are the shimmers of
those guys. Now they got changed into those guys. Like you just picked up a bunch of people in a random street. You know, you went to 31st Street and you just went, hey, you all come with me. You all come with me. And you just picked up a bunch of people that don't know their left from the right. Those guys. They are the shimmers and hoolies of the time. In bracket, the killers of Hussein, the grandson of the Prophet. Usama Abdulghani, open your ears. Okay? I don't know which animal your ears came from, but open them. The people that killed Hussein were also all Muslims. None of them were Jews. They were all Muslims. It was the Muslims who killed the so-called grandson of their own prophet. According to every Islamic source, Shia or Sunni, Muslims did that, not Jews. So the Shimmer and Khuli of the time are you, the Muslims. You.
The time, the Khulis of the time. Those guys, you think
Those guys, who the Zionists, those guys, they're not soldiers no more. They're just a bunch of people you just randomly selected, okay? Those guys, they are walking into a buzzsaw. Oh, Gaza is a buzzsaw. Remember that. Remember. Don't say it's a city. It's a buzzsaw. He told you.
they're walking into a buzzsaw.
Buzzsaw. Look what he does with his face. Buzzsaw. This is how they have to fool you, because if they just talk like a normal human being, some of the people sitting there might think, they'll analyze what he says, they'll say this guy doesn't make any sense. So to fool those people from thinking, these clergymen, they have to do stuff like this. Okay.
Literally, they're going to be putting their hand.
Literally. I mean, it's not a city. It's a buzzsaw. Okay? They're going to put their hand into a blender. If they go inside there, okay? Their hands will be in a blender. All right. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
In a blender if they go inside.
Blender if they go inside there.
On the other side,
On the other side. Okay, on the other side, meaning inside of Gaza. The soldiers of Allah are men who are longing to meet Allah. They never met Allah, ladies and gentlemen. They don't know who their God is. I mean, what else do you expect? I mean, the God is made out of some kind of a boat statue thing, and he's a shin, and the two right arms, one arm has 3 fingers and the other one has 2, and he's got a head on top with 2 eyes and woolly hair and bald in the center. That's Allah. And they're soldiers of Allah,
Junud of Allah are men who are longing to meet God.
Longing to meet God. Don't say God. Shame on you. Who's God? You're a Muslim. They're longing to meet Allah.
They are clever. They are intelligent.
They are clever. They are intelligent. That's why the whole entire Gaza, according to everybody on the planet, is a shit show. I mean, they're so clever that for the last 75 years, they're still riding donkeys. That how clever you have to be, that you can push technology backwards is so long, you're gonna keep your way. They're so clever that they hide behind their people. They're so clever that they put their missiles underneath the hospitals. They're so clever that when the kids go to school, the Hamas are sitting in the school with the kids, so that if the Israeli wants to throw a bomb to kill a bunch of Hamas terrorists, they kill little kids with it. They're so intelligent that they know how to rob the people of their food and trap them inside Gaza and not let them escape through the border with Egypt. They're so clever. They're so intelligent. Yeah. Tell us.
And they're waiting for them. They outfoxed the Zionists in the settlement.
They outfoxed the Zionists in the settlements. Thank you very much, Osama. According to this retarded, whatever creature you want to name, who are you seeing right now on a video and listening to, this creature admitted the soldiers of Allah invaded Zionist settlements and butchered and killed a bunch of innocent Zionists in their own home. Settlement, right? That's their home. So out of his mouth, he blabbered it out. That land belonged to the Zionists, and the soldiers of God committed an act of terrorism. Okay.
What do you think they have?
What do you think they have waiting for them in Gaza? What do you think? Look at his face. He's trying to turn into Biden. You know, Biden does that squinting thing. When he wants to read, he can't read. He has to squint like this. He's doing the same thing. Look at him.
Waiting for them in Gaza. They're waiting for those guys.
They're waiting for those guys. They're waiting for those guys.
Guys, it will be doomsday for them.
They will be doomsday for them. Doomsday for them. I can do that too. You know, anybody can do this thing. Doomsday for them. They don't know how to talk. This is all they can do. You know, they act like a bunch of clowns. They sit on top of a 3-seated chair, and which they call a member, and then they act like a bunch of retarded. I mean, if you put a monkey up there, the monkey can do the same thing. I've seen it in the old Pink Panther movies. They used to have a monkey, and the monkey would play. There was a blind guy who pretended to be blind so people can pour money for him, but he was really the guy who was watching when his friends were robbing the bank, and he had a monkey. And while he was playing the thing, the monkey would take 2 drum things and smash them to each other and go, and this guy does the exact same thing. I mean, he goes, and doomsday for them. And okay. So now he's going to bring the doomsday for the Zionists if they go to Gaza.
The Zionists, if they go in, you think they can handle those guys?
You think they can handle those guys? You think the Israelis can handle the army of Allah inside Gaza? Those Hamas soldiers? They're not terrorists, they're soldiers. You think they can handle those guys? You know, I can do that too. The guy sounds like someone squeezing his testicles. Okay.
Muhammad al-Layth and these guys.
Muhammad al-Layth and these guys. I mean, Layth, the meaning of Layth is weak. The guy's name is Muhammad Weak. Not weak like the week. Like the week that you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No. We're talking about weak, like a weakling. You know, the guy can't lift nothing. He can't do nothing. He's just too weak. You know, this is Muhammad the Weak. Can you come up with a better name than that? He's weak. Okay. You think the IDF of Israel can handle the weak guy?
Well, they got something for the Zionists when they go inside there.
Oh, they got something for the Zionists when the Zionists go inside. Oh, yeah, they got something for you. Oh, yeah.
You don't worry about that.
See? Now he tells his people, that the people he's radicalizing to become terrorists, you don't worry about their plan. You know, if they got a plan, don't worry about the plan. You just do your part. Go outside and become a terrorist.
They come inside there. You talk about a body?
They come inside there. You talk about a body bag war. Hey, viewers. Yeah, you. Listening, right? You. I'm pointing at you. That's right. You. Look at yourself. Yeah. Listen, you don't know. Let me teach you. Until now, when people had wars, nobody died. I mean, let's take an example. I'll give you a good example. Okay, you're thinking, what? How could that be? I'm going to give you an example. Remember, Dr. Mossavat knows it all. I'm going to teach you here. Okay, when it comes to Islam, I know everything. Yeah, I know more than these guys do. I mean, I've already corrected him. He's wrong on which word he's translating to what word. I caught him twice, right? So come on, listen. I have credibility. Back in the day, there used to be a prophet. His name was Suleiman. Don't get him confused with the king Solomon of the Jews, okay? This is Prophet Suleiman of the Jews, according to the Muslims. Yes, he was also king, but he was prophet too, okay? When Suleiman wanted to go to war, he had his whole army in 3 parts. 1/3 men. 1/3, they were the demons, the devils. And the one last third were made out of roosters and chickens. Now, the roosters and chickens had a general. Their general was a woodpecker. Now, this woodpecker had special miraculous power, okay? Like Superman, who can see through stuff with his eyes. This woodpecker, named Al-Ghudghud, was able to see inside of women's clothing and could detect which woman shaved her legs and which one didn't. Which woman had really beautiful looking legs and which one did. And he would come back and tell Suleiman, so Suleiman can go and get that woman that he likes as a wife. And that's how the wars were like that. Come on, nobody died. Have you ever heard of a chicken killing a human being? Maybe a rooster? I've never heard of that. I mean, I've seen a lot of human beings kill roosters and chickens, but I've never seen chickens kill a human being. Come on, now, how could he kill human beings with chickens? Think about it. Think about it. He can't kill any. Now, today, we've changed the laws of war. Today, in Gaza, the army of Allah, body bag wars ready. Ooh.
Bad war. Urban fighting.
Urban fighting. Yeah, you know, the mullahs, they have to do like this, you know, because the whole time they're thinking about money and food. So they eat with their hand and they count money with their hand. So they have to hold the money like this, you see. So they always have to do like this, these gestures. Okay, look at the gesture. Yeah. Urban fighting with highly trained commandos. Now the Hamas turned into commandos.
With highly trained commandos who are looking for God.
Highly trained commandos who are looking for God. Shame on you. Don't say God. Say Allah. What kind of a clergyman are you? You don't even know the name of your God? What's wrong with you, Osama? Who have been suffering for 75 years. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth.
Who've been suffering for 75 years.
Thank you very much, Usama Abdulghani. By the way, Abdul means slave. So he's slave of Ghani. Osama, slave of Ghani. I mean, you are such a retard. You converted to Islam. Then you went and you picked an Arabic name to put on a black man who should be of African descent. So in reality, your name should not be an Arab name. And then you were so stupid that you went ahead and you picked for your last name to make your last name be slave of Ghani. You couldn't come up with something nice for yourself. You had to put slave into your name. Like every black person on this planet is trying to get away from being a slave. I mean, all of Nigeria turned into prince. Everybody in Nigeria is a prince. Every black man in North America calls himself a king and his wife a queen. You, the only idiot in town who went and put the last name slave for yourself. Have you got no brains? I don't think you have any. But you should get off that member because you don't have the right of sitting on it because you don't even know the name of your God is Allah. And now he said it. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from his retarded mouth. Palestine is only 75 years old. They've been suffering for 75 years. Meaning the whole existence of Palestinian is 75 years old. Well, 75 years ago, that land was under the control of the British. The British Empire were in charge. There was no Israel. How come you didn't stand up to the British Palestinians? How come you Muslims didn't stand up to British They weren't doing any injustice to your Palestinians. When the British gave you a slap on the back of the head and your head went down and your buttocks went up and you asked for another kick in the butt from the same British, apparently at that time it was good. But when the Jews made an official agreement with the British that the British must leave that territory and hand back the country of Israel back to the actual owners, who are the Jews, who've been there thousands of years, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost close to 10,000 years they've been around that area. It is their land. All their ancestors are buried there, and the United Nations agreed to it and facilitated making sure that the British leave and that Israel turns into a country. All of a sudden, you're suffering.
Who have never had a victory of this magnitude in 75 years.
Who have never had a magnitude of this victory here for 75 years. I can do that too. You know, anybody can do that. I mean, I can get anyone off the street to do what this guy's doing, make gestures and you know, talk like your testicles are being like really squeezed, and you know, anybody. Look, his face has turned red. One of the very few black people that you can see who's got a red face. I mean, that's how tough he's being squeezed. You know, it's squeezing him. What Israel is doing to the Hamas and the method that they're killing and exterminating the Hamas terrorists is really applying pressure on him. He can't breathe anymore. Look at him. Okay? For 75 years. That's the whole existence of Palestine, is only 75 years. You think they are going to let you go?
You think they're going to let you go? Or you're going to catch hell?
Oh, now he turned into a black man. Oh, you're going to catch hell when you go inside there. Hell. Okay.
When you go inside there. But that's just
Gaza. Gaza, as they like to say. I mean, the G doesn't exist in English. So you replace it with a G or sometimes a K. Like Quran turns into Quran. Gaza turns into Gaza. Right? I mean, they don't even know. Pick one letter so that you can translate it to just that one. I mean, why you have different letters trying to make the sound of G? Ask the Muslims, they don't.
Gaza. So you have to make
it clear for the enemy. So those people sitting there listening to this retard talk, just learn that anyone who's not a Muslim is an enemy, especially if they're a Jew.
this clear for the enemy. What's going to happen when the Iraqi resist?
What's going to happen when the Iraqi resistance? Who's the Iraqi resistance? Are you talking about Khatim al-Hezbollah? Are you talking about Hashd al-Shabi, the Mahdi Brigade, or the other 20 different groups of Shia terrorist groups that are there who are all being funded by Islamic Republic of Iran? I mean, which one are you talking about?
That's already told you we're getting involved.
They already told you they aren't going to get involved. Oh. Okay, you told me. Oh, okay, I'm shaking in my boots. Now you told me, okay.
Oh, when they get involved.
They're going to get involved, okay.
What do you think will happen when Syria gets involved, the resistance in Syria?
What do you think is going to happen when Syria gets involved? Huh? Have you ever thought about it? You, the one who's viewing this program. I mean, I can't talk to his people. I'm talking to you. You're just watching me. His people watch him. Come on now, you know the thing. Like Obama says, and Biden says, They both of them say. Neither one of them know the thing, but they just say the thing. What do you think is going to get him? I'll tell you what I think is going to get him. In 1967, 6 countries, Palestine, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and one more idiot country. One of them got involved. It could have been Iraq. Who knows? And in 6 days, they all lost. They all got their ass whooped. Israel came in there, mopped the floor with their Allah, and the army of Allah died. They all hid behind the rock. Israel took a bunch of land as booty of war. Later on, gave some of it back through treaties with the same countries. I think same thing will happen. This time Egypt doesn't want to get involved. They learned the lesson. We can throw Iraq in there for you. Maybe even Yemen in there. Whichever country you pick. Sure, throw them in there.
You've already seen the rockets from Yemen.
You already saw the rockets from Yemen. Hey, Osama, monkey. You already saw the American Navy ships destroy the rockets from Yemen. This hasn't even started yet. Only the resistance knows the 0 hour.
It hasn't even started yet. Only the resistance knows the 0 hour.
We have a 0 hour.
Wait till the Rizwan brigades come in.
That's nothing. Wait until the Rizwan brigades of Hezbollah of Lebanon come in. Abdul, slave. I mean, that's your name, Abdul. Listen, potato. Don't you have a brain? Hezbollah came in. They've lost over 19 people in one day.
You want to see hell on earth?
You want to see hell on earth? Yes, yes. Can you show us the hell on earth? Can you?
The resistance is coming over the wall. You've seen that.
The resistance is coming over the wall. You've seen. They've already blinded the eyes of Israel. He's talking about Hezbollah, okay? Osama Abdulghani. Listen, you tomato. The wall in Israel is at its southern border with Gaza. Hezbollah is on the northern end of Israel in Lebanon. There is no wall between Israel and Lebanon. The wall is between Israel and Gaza. You donkey. I mean, get your facts straight before you talk. You're an embarrassment to the black community. You're an embarrassment to your Shia Islam. You're an embarrassment to yourself and to the idiots that are listening to you. And the eyes of Israel that you're talking about are the cameras that they have at the border. You knocked a few cameras and they killed the 19 of your Hezbollah Rizwan brigade.
They've already blinded the eyes of Israel. The Rizwan brigades are coming in.
Look, they do this with their hand, you know, it makes it look like as if they know something, you know. They have to always put a hand out there, you know, so you can think about where this hand is moving to, and you look at the hand and you forget about what he said. Okay, that's the tricks. Okay, there is one brigades are coming in and they're all dying. Okay. Continue.
That's nothing. Wait until you.
That's nothing. Wait until you hear the Iranian Revolutionary Guards coming. Again, Osama Abdulghani, slave man. Your name is Slave, right? That's your last name that you picked for yourself. Slave man. Don't say Iranian Revolutionary Guards. They don't even call themselves Iranian Revolutionary Guards. There is no such thing as the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. It's the Al-Quds. Their name is Sepah Pastaran Quds. Quds is the holy mosque in Jerusalem. Their name is Sepah Pastaran, means that they are the Revolutionary Guards of Quds. They don't call themselves Iranian. You donkey, get the names right. I mean, don't you even know the names that you're saying? They are not there for Iran. Iran has a military. These are the Revolutionary Guards that their whole agenda is to go and take back Quds. In other words, they want to be the Masons who fought for the Roman Empire and took back Jerusalem. They want to be that. They're emulating that. They're a specific army for just Ali Khamenei. You know, your leader, the one you call the leader, your Rahbar. At the beginning of your video, you call them the leader. The leader said the most important thing in Islam today is occupy Palestine. You remember you said that, donkey? That's what these guys are. Don't use the word Iran. Don't add words and take out words and make something that doesn't exist. There is no such thing on this planet as the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. You retarded potato. Continue.
You hear the Iranian Revolutionary Guards? These guys are finished.
These guys are finished. Oh, the Israelis are finished. Ladies and gentlemen, he told you, the Israelis are finished. Okay.
So no, it's different this time.
So no, it's different this time. You know, all the other times they got their asses whooped. This time is different. You know, this time you're not going to push them back. We're going to push forward. Okay.
You know, but inshallah,
but inshallah means God willing. Okay. Inshallah, they come to their senses. Who comes to their senses? The Jews. Okay. Inshallah, they come to their senses and call off the dogs. Okay. Their soldiers are the dogs. Okay. Now, why are you so afraid? I thought you had your foot on their throat. If you have your foot on their throat and you're choking the life out of them with your foot, how are they going to come to their senses to call something off? According to you, they're not dead yet, meaning they're about to die because you've got your foot on their throat and you want them, the one who's getting beat up by you, to call it off? How is he going to call it off? You got to remove your foot. He doesn't have his foot on you. You have your foot on him. Don't you even think about what you say? I mean, do you have two buttholes? One in front of your face and one in your rear end? And you speak out of one? Don't you have a brain? Continue.
inshallah, they come to their senses. Inshallah, they call off the dogs. But if they push this, you and I will see the death of Israel, but a lot sooner.
If they push this, I mean, you said you had your foot on his throat. How is he going to push? And we are going to see the death of Israel, but sooner. So Israel's dying either way. So in other words, you want Israel not to fight back, and you want to fight Israel all the way. You want Israel to be like a punching bag, where you can hit him as much as you want, and he never fights back until he dies. That's what you want. But now you're scared. Now you're saying, God willing, they call it off. God willing, they call it. Why call it off? Why don't you say, I hope, God willing, they keep coming so I can kill them? Why don't you say that? Because you're scared now. It's good, and we can understand. I mean, if Israel continues this war and takes it all the way to the head of the snake and takes out the Islamic Republic of Iran, people in Iran will become free. Israel will become free. The whole Middle East will become free of terrorism. And now who's going to pay you so that your fat rear end can sit on that member? Of course, you're worried about your money. Your money. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you living in Dearborn, Michigan, this is the guy that you need to go and report. Hadi Institute is where this guy gives his lectures. You need to go and you need to report him. You need to report that place as a terrorist cell where they teach people to become terrorists. That guy is a teacher of terrorism. He's one of the people that's going to radicalize people so that tomorrow one of those guys can go ahead and obtain a gun illegally and go out and start shooting innocent people in the States. He needs to be reported. His channel needs to be reported so that his channel can get off of YouTube. We don't need terrorists teaching terrorism, brainwashing and radicalizing people to become terrorists. The guy openly says he wants the death of all Israelis. Now I'm going to show you guys the biggest Zionist in the world, because you have to learn. Okay? Soon it will come up for you on your, I guess, on your telephones or on your TV, wherever you're watching your YouTube, the channel is going to show it. It's showing it right now. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're seeing right now at the very top, we start with the link because, as you know, I don't tell you anything without showing you the proof. This is the link for a site called Quran.com. The whole Quran is there. In the 5th chapter, chapter Al-Ma'idah, verses 20 to 26. I have it in the Arabic and in the English. This is a passage from the Old Testament, from the book of Exodus, that was copied into the Quran by this Muhammad character, whose real name was Ghatha. Ghatha means human feces. For more than 40 years of his life, his family, his friends, everybody called him Ghatha, human feces. Then he changed his name to the praised one, Muhammad. So now you praise him, meaning you worship him. Verse 20, and remember when Moses said to his people, "O my people, remember Allah's favor upon you." Favors. Okay, he's got favors. What are the favors? We're going to look at them. When he raised prophets from among you. So all the human prophets are from the Jews. Number 1. Let's see if we can count. Usama couldn't count. Made you sovereign. So you're not depending on anyone. You're free. And gave you what he had never given anyone in the world. He gave the Jews something he didn't give to anybody else. What is that thing? Number 3, that he gave to the Jews that he never gave to anyone else. Who? The so-called Allah of the Deen of Islam, the religion of Islam. Allah gave this. Okay, Allah, the God of Islam. gave something to the Jews he never gave to anyone else in the world. My people, enter the holy land, which Allah has destined for you to enter. And do not turn back, or else you will become losers. Meaning, enter this land. The land has become holy because it's from God, given to you, the Jew. And do not turn back, because if you do, you will be a loser. Because you're going to turn your back on the holiness gift that Allah gave you. You know, in Exodus, we don't call it Allah. There you find it being Lord. But Lord, they changed it around and inserted Allah in it because it's an Islamic book. So now it's Allah. They replied, they, the Jews, "Oh Moses, there is an enormously powerful people there. So we will never be able to enter it until they leave. If they do, then we will enter." The next verse. So before we go to the next verse, let me explain that verse. The Jews are saying to Moses, there are people who are very powerful there. It didn't say Palestinians. It said people. Muhammad didn't know who these people are. Allah doesn't know who these people are. That's why you call them people. If you know what kind of people they are, you refer to them by what they are. For example, if we go to Harlem and I see a bunch of black people, I'll say, hey, there is a bunch of black folks over there. Because I can identify. I can see they're black. If you go to New Jersey and I see a bunch of Italians hanging around, I can say, hey, there's a bunch of Italian folks over there. Because I can see them. I can identify them. Here, neither did Allah know, nor did the people who were Jews know who these people are. Hence, they couldn't call them anything. They don't know them. That's something, you know. Allah is supposed to know everything and he doesn't know anything. Anyway, back to the next chapter, or the next verse, I should say. Two God-fearing men, two, not one, two, who had been blessed by Allah. Yeah, Allah blessed them. Said, surprise them through the gate. Now, let me explain to you. In the old days, people wanted their city protected. They would build a wall around the city. The entrance to the city had a gate. So anyone coming in would come through the gate. Soldiers would be standing at the gate, so they would see you when you come, and they would ask you who you are and give you a background. How are you going to surprise them at the gate when they got the soldiers waiting at the gate? Allah doesn't know. Nobody knows. It's just Muhammad just throws whatever he hears in there. And the Jews, you know, they told them two right, truthful things and 5 wrongful things just so they can make fun out of him. And they knew he's not a prophet because he'll just write whatever we tell him. So they throw little things in there just so they can say, you see, the guy's a liar. And he believed it and he wrote it in there. And now today Muslims will tell you, you're the liar. You know, but none of them have even read their book. They don't know anything about it. If they read it, they would leave it like me. So now they want to surprise them at the gate. If you do, you will certainly prevail. Put your trust in Allah if you are truly believers. The next verse. Yet they said, O Moses, still we will never enter as long as they remain. So go both you and your Lord Now it all of a sudden turned into Lord. Yeah. It's Allah. And fight. We are staying right here. So now the Jews want Allah and Moses to go and fight these powerful people. Then next, Moses pleaded, my Lord. How come he doesn't call him Allah anymore? Huh? How come they changed it? My Lord, I have no control over anyone except myself and my brother Aaron. So now there are 4 people. There was 2 that Allah blessed. There was Moses, and now there's Aaron. So now there's 4 of them. Okay? So set us apart from the rebellious people. And Lord turned right back to Allah again. Allah's reply, then this land is forbidden to them for 40 years, during which they will not wander through the land, meaning desert. So do not grieve for the rebellious people. You know why they had to go around for 40 years? Because over 600 years that they were slaves in Egypt, they had the mindset of a slave. They thought like a slave, they acted like a slave. They didn't have the self-confidence, the bravery to go and stand up for what they want. Who controlled this land over 3,000 years ago? Go pick up any encyclopedia. That land that was called Israel later was under the control of Egypt. Egypt's Pharaoh and his army just got swept away by the parting sea. This land no longer has an army to fight for it. Hence, God is saying, go in there. They're petrified of you. They know you just took out their Pharaoh. You just took out the Pharaoh's army, and there's nothing they can do. They'll leave the land. But these people, they had the mindset of still being a slave to the Pharaoh. That's why it took 40 years, so that that generation can all become geriatrics and die. The new generation that was born during that 40 years, wandering the desert, their mindset is not of a slave mindset. They are able to understand, brave enough to take action. And hence, they walked in and took the land without any war. War showed up after. They walked in, and people said, okay, that's your land. Because they were afraid of them. There's the 40 years. Now, if you want to look at who lived there, last week or the week before it, I did a presentation on who are the Palestinians in English. It's important for you to go and watch it again and again so you can see there was no such thing as Palestinian. That's a new terminology. The closest they come is Phoenician, who lived in Israel as people that came from Crete Island. Israelis were generous enough to open their arms to them. Later on, the Muslims took that whole land by force, invasion. I hope you guys have learned. Make sure you subscribe. If you like our program, if you found value in it, if you found that you learned something, click with your mouse if you're using your computer, or click with your finger by using the scroll of your laptop so you can subscribe. If you're watching this on your phone, just press a button with your finger. It takes less than a second. Underneath our YouTube page, you will find a link to a link tree. That link tree will take you to all of my social media apps, and you can subscribe to all of them. If you do that all together, it won't even take you a minute, not even 30 seconds. But start with the YouTube. The more you subscribe, the more we can use the algorithms, the bots of YouTube to promote our program more out, so that the people that have seen whatever videos you like to see on your YouTube, it'll be recommended to people who watch those programs as well, so that they can watch it, so the channel can grow. Your help is truly appreciated. I'll thank you in advance for it. Don't forget to like and share as well. Until tomorrow, when we continue with Jafar al-Sadiq, I leave you in the hands of Jesus.